which was Wade a precautionary thing or?
I don't know. I think it was probably the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did the math. It sounds like that's the first game he's ever missed during his career here.
He's never missed a practice.
Yeah. Just how weird was it not even having him on the floor?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. Very uncomfortable. We're very reliant on his talent for sure, but his leadership is as good as I've been around in my career, and so even practicing without him was different. So there was a lot of valuable reps for some guys that had different responsibilities today, and hopefully that'll come to light at some point, I anticipate. But playing without four is, well, we've never done it. So.
Yeah. Hayden stepped up, of course, and looked like Manny got the start in place of Wade. Just how did you feel like it operated without Wade just as the game progressed?
I mean, it's our first time doing it. So I thought there were some parts that were good, not specific to Mo or to H, just when you've taken every snap of every down of every game of every practice, it's different. But I thought we were better in the second half than we were the first half. And I thought we did some good things, and there were a lot of minutes dispersed in a unique way that I think will hopefully help us at some point.
Is this a one-time thing for Wade, or is this something you don't know about? You don't know yet? Okay.
His numbers didn't necessarily jump out on the stat sheet today, but just how good has Farell been? I know you touched on it yesterday, but the way, just the aggression he seems to be playing with right now.
I think that's the word. I think he was much more aggressive in Indianapolis. I think anytime a player performs well, it gives him some level of confidence. And I thought he had, I told him that a couple of times today, I thought he had that same level of ferocity in how he was chasing after the ball. We have to improve defensively on the glass as a team, and he's one of the few that can help move the needle on that. This was statistically the best we've been from a defensive rebounding standpoint. Our defense is ranked 6th entering today's game, but our defensive rebounding is among the worst in the country. And so if we can shore that up somewhat, I think it'll help our defense, and he can do that. And today we had 80% of the balls they missed, we defensive rebounded. But I do think that Gochi played with that same level of aggressiveness.
Well, as Mo said, that y'all came out flat. But my question to that is, I mean, you don't want to make excuses for anybody, but isn't that somewhat understandable considering the timing of the game, and you don't have Wade and the opponent that you're playing and all those factors?
Yeah, I didn't think that if Mo said that, I'll support him. We took a lot of wood twos. We shot a very low percentage at the rim. We only had 2 turkeys. We only shot 1 free throw. I think they made 8 free throws out of their first 23 points. That all of that is kind of bad. Is it bad specific to fours not playing? Maybe. But I didn't think we were very comfortable. And so I think some of that was better in the second half. Numerically, it for sure was better. But I think this is the first time we've had double-digit wins in a semester. Considering the schedule we've played and all that's transpired, I think it's the least number of times we've ever played at Reed Arena. We would have played the game at 8:00 this morning, knowing that we get a break for 3.5 days. I think that's going to be nourishment for all of us, players and coaches.
Well, as Hayden started the last couple games, do you think maybe that helped with his confidence today, and just overall, what did you kind of like about it?
Well, I think whether he started or not, he's not our best player on either side of the ball, but he knows everything that's going on, and he's very consistent. He's very consistent not only on game day, he's consistent in the film room, he's consistent in the weight room. There's a lot of consistency in our group, not necessarily overwhelming talent. 4 is very consistent. To be the shortest guy in the league and never miss a practice until December of your senior year. I understand the talent, but that's a lot of consistency, particularly in this league and without arrogance in how we work every day, to never miss a day. He's never missed a practice. He's never missed a boot camp session. He's never missed anything. And H has missed some games. H has missed some practices in his career, but the consistency of Henry, the consistency of Mo, the consistency of H, the consistency of Four, we're very grateful that in the career of those guys that man games missed, Mo has the most, and that's because he broke his hand. But you could add up the missed games of all of those other guys, and they don't equal those 16 games that Mo missed. And so I think that's a rarity. That speaks to Eddie Binion and the job he does. That speaks to Stephen Gephardt and the job he does. But I also think it speaks to the consistency of those guys doing what those two men are asking them to do.
How important is it just for the vibes to go into Christmas with the win?
Well, 2 years ago today, I was talking to you, and it was Santa Claus was at the game, and everybody could come in for free, and all the things that Olin mentioned. And Texas A&M paid for that game too. And it was Christmas. This is a Merry Christmas. And 6-5, considering the schedule we played that year. 10-2, considering the schedule we've played this year. That's literally what I told our guys before the game. This is Christmas, and this is Merry Christmas. What do you guys think the difference is? And I recounted the game against the Wofford Terriers. I think the point guard, he was a freshman and just abused us. I think he went on to Iowa State. I think he's somewhere else now, but I remember that Christmas not being a lot of fun. And the Santa Claus at my house is not me, but I was for sure the Grinch at my house, and I'm not going to be this year. So I'm ready to eat pizza and ice cream and queso and bowl of cereal whenever I want. I might actually sleep normal person hours. I will take a nap. I'll read a lot. So I'll watch this game, but I'm not going to be in a rush. I won't see our kids until Christmas evening. So it's good.
What does it mean to y'all to have a game like this where you can get Chris some minutes, get Jay Lee some minutes,
Yeah.
kind of get those depth guys involved?
I thought it was we planned some of that in, but transparently, I did not think their minutes would equal over 30. Some of that was Ford not playing, but most of that was Andy not playing. And I think some of that will come back and help us. Obviously, there were some extended minutes for some other guys. Henry a little less, Solo a lot less. I thought Solo was just as efficient as H relative to the minutes he got. So you never know, right? We hope that we're not in that position, but those guys are really important to our program and are a part of what we do every day in practice. And so for them to be able to play, they've earned that. But also, in case something undisclosed or something we don't want to happen does transpire, at least they have had some game pressure reps, which I think will be healthy.
Andy was on a pitch count today.
Yeah, I don't know, Travis, if I did that the right way. I have a lot of faith and trust in these guys, and I try to let them make big decisions. If it gets real big, I act like a head coach and I make the decision. So it was my decision today for a variety of reasons. Nothing that he's done wrong, but it's 8 power 4 games out of 11 for us to have only Zoo missed at Central Florida because of his thumb. 4 missed today. Solo missed the 2 exhibitions. Solo missed the last 34 and a half minutes at Oregon versus Oregon. That's a lot of wear and tear. And so, it's kind of like everybody doesn't believe in gambling, and those that do believe in gambling, some only want to play the slots and some want to play dice. And there's a lot of different ways to bet when you play dice. I know you don't play dice, but like when it gets to that kind of scenario, I want to keep our metrics right, but I also want to do right relative to the long-term health. And that's one thing I didn't take into account. I knew we were playing the type of schedule we were playing, but the wear and tear physically, mentally, and emotionally, it's a lot. And that's what big boys do in big boy business, and our guys have for sure handled that with great aplomb. But it was my decision. He didn't do anything wrong, and he would have helped us dramatically. But a little bit of C-Mac, because I love him. A little bit of Jay Lee. I have the utmost respect for Jay Lee and his mom. And good reps for Mo. But it was just how I decided to play.
You've won 6 straight, last 5 before this one against Power Fours. Just what do you attribute this kind of success this early in the season to? Is it maturity? Is it skill? Is it both?
Yeah, I think it's. I think I don't know what it is today because I haven't looked today. But if you take away the teams that are having to play guarantee games throughout non-conference, and you only look at Power 5 teams, I think that we're probably 5th or 6th in regards to the schedule that we've played. So I don't think you can attribute it to only one thing. I do think our talent's okay. I don't think it's overwhelming. I don't think it's upper echelon of the SEC or of the nation in any respect. But I do think there's a lot of continuity in the development of their talent. I think there's a lot of consistency in their character, not only the young adults, but the old adults. I think our staff has been phenomenal in regards to how they've prepared our guys. I think our guys have been elite in taking that information, absorbing it, and executing at a high rate. I think there's been, 5 of the 11 games have been decided by 2 possessions or less. In addition to the schedule, you know that there's not going to be many games like this, but to have the wherewithal to do it again and again and again, and not doing it at home, that takes a lot. And so I don't think it's one person. I don't think it's just the starters. I think it's the effort and the attitude and the consistency of everybody in the organization.
Coach, you guys are leading the country in offensive rebounding.
We should be a little better when you wake up tomorrow if you're keeping up. It was 54% today, and we played without arguably one of the better rebounders in the world.
Yes. What are you doing differently in practice that's separating you from other coaches? What are you telling these players? What goes on in the summer that maybe some of these coaches aren't picking up on that you are?
Well, it's been an evolution. I don't necessarily think that we're doing anything different than other coaches. I think it's evolved during our tenure here. And just to be forthright, I would say it's been the niche that we've been able to create that gives us a chance to have a chance. We're not going to have the best players. I'm not the best coach. We're not going to have the best defense. We're not going to have the best offense. But if you look at what happens the most in a game other than field goal makes, it's rebounding. And from a volume standpoint, we've spent an inordinate amount of time in prioritizing the language we give, the responsibilities, the clips that we watch, the scouting that we do, not only on us, but on the opponent. It's become, if you were to think of it from a football standpoint, this is offensive coordinator, this is defensive coordinator, this is special teams coordinator. We've turned rebounding into special teams, and we give it the same priority as we do offense and defense. And we've begun to study it at such a level that it's become part of the fabric of our program. And I don't even necessarily think we have the best athletes, the tallest. We're short. But I think we give an inordinate amount of time and teaching and practice to it. And I think it's for sure kind of hedged our bet on not being the best in some other categories.